You just want to kind of lightly lay it on there, because if you push down on it, you're going to end up creating all these yucky little bleed spots that aren't so pretty. Okay, so it's just ever so lightly. Don't push it down. So then you just would keep working up the head, going section by section. And again, I know you don't need me to paint the whole thing, so I'm not going to do that. So we'll just act like we're, obviously normally we wouldn't take sections this big, but you know, yada yada yada, right? You get the point. So, you know, you just keep working your way up the head. So I'll do another one here so you can kind of see what I'm saying. So let's say that this is going to be our paint line. So we're going to paint here. So make sure you get, again, super clean sectioning. No little baby hairs. See how tight and perfect that is? So that stays out of the way. Make sure none of that's laying down in your other color. Okay, so instead of painting this way with your base color, which is what we normally do, again, I'm going to hold the hair and pull against it so that it's nice and tight and there's not a lot of color on there. Just enough to get the gray. Like that. Okay. So then we'll paint again. And again, so see, it starts out really kind of chunky. We don't want to paint like that because that's how we're going to get big blobs and, again, more bleeds. So let's work your lightener, make sure that it's nice and smooth. And then clean brush with the color just on the tip. Okay, so I'm not showing you for placement. If you want me to show you placement another time, happy to do that too. Maybe we can do that FaceTime wise, but this is just technique. So where I'm placing this doesn't have anything to do with necessarily where you would place them. Just technique. Okay, so see if I can tilt her head down a little bit so you can see. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take our section like that, and I'm going to pinch it to make sure that I have good even tension, and that also, see how it already creates a V like that for me. So then I'm going to paint. You can see the way that I did her retouch, that there's not an excess amount of color in there, and that's because I don't want this lightener to have to bust through there. But that's also why, like I said, if she's got like a ton of regrowth, you have to hit that. So then that's why sometimes it's better to just go ahead and do your root retouch separate from your highlight, unless you're not going more than a couple shades lighter. If you're only going a couple shades lighter than your base, then you can paint right over top of your base color and not worry about it. It's just, I don't like to do that if I'm going really light with my highlight over top of the base, because you'll tend to pull too warm. You won't be able to break through that color very well. All right. So tension is so important so the hair doesn't bounce and give. And I'm just gonna, you notice how I kind of blend up. I didn't start up there because that's when you get the spottiness. I start like, I don't know, maybe about an inch or so away from the scalp and work my way up. And again, I'm more of a 45-degree angle with the brush than I am about a 90. Same thing, make sure just a little bit on the edge of the brush. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to start about an inch down and work my way up so that it's diffused towards the scalp. Also, that's what makes it grow out a lot nicer. Make sure you get those little hairs in check. I'm going to take my little tip and I'm going to make sure I don't have anything underneath. Wipe that off on the towel. See, that would have laid on my hair underneath and that would have bled. All right. So see this old highlight right here? So I'll kind of show you what I meant, like if you needed to blend some of that down. Not saying that I necessarily would in this case, but we'll act like it's an old foil line. Then you can go through and just diffuse that out with your base color or a low light, doesn't matter. Okay, so remember I did that while I still have my tension on here, just so the hair doesn't move. So now I'm going to slide down, start to close off my V. This is what I was talking about when I sent you that one video with the doll, that you want to make sure that you drop your V down deeper when you want more depth. If you want less depth, then you can close your V up higher, but for more depth, then you want to close off your V lower. It's diffusing. So when I get to that point, then I'm going to lay it on my paddle. And there we go. So just a little quick tip too. I'll do this one a little bit quicker just to show you. So also I need to get home to my little girlies. Let's say you wanted to add some low lights in there too. So maybe you'd have a couple extra highlights over here.